Hello, welcome to another episode of In the Kitchen with Robert Danhi. Today, I'm going to show you a variety of dumplings, those 1 or 2 bite wonders, one of my favorite things to snack on. They can even be made as an entree. I'm going to show you a few different varieties and some tips and techniques on how to fold them. So let me show you how to make some of the most common folds with the dumplings. Now, first I need to pick the wrapper, whether it be a shumai, which is the thinnest, then we have the wonton wrapper, is a little bit thicker, both square. We have a dumpling wrapper, which is a little bit thicker, and then finally the Potsticker, which is the thickest. So as I make them, I'll describe what you want to do with them. So the wonton wrapper, I've cut this open. You want to make sure that it doesn't dry out. So if they're going to be sitting for any length of time, wrap them up in plastic. For the filling, I'm going to use a classic pork filling. And for demonstration purposes, I'll use the same filling for each one, but of course, it's limitless. Start with the wonton. For sealing it, we want to have an egg wash or some water. So an egg wash or some water, either one will work. Egg wash is just a little bit more stable and will hold it together a little bit more, but water works because there is some starch on this. Now the cornstarch coating is very common and required. Otherwise, they'll stick together as they're being shipped. Speaking of cornstarch, I have a little bit of extra cornstarch here, and I'm going to take the tray that I'm going to put the dumplings on and dust that a bit. There we go. It's also nice to have some handy to keep your fingers dry, and you're going to want a clean towel to wipe your hands with. Small spoon. Take a little bit of the filling. It's less than an ounce. And then what I like to do here is I like to let it rest on one of my fingers. So that is what it pulls off on. So that's what really holds it in place. Then for sealing it, just use water for this here. So what I want to do is do these two sides. So one here, so when it folds, I'm going to have water all the way across. And then I'll seal it. Now what is important is I'm trying to avoid the air pockets in here. So I'll squeeze against the filling. And once I get the basic shape and that the edges are somewhat lined up, then I push it and get it really firm. Now, a wonton can be as simple as that. Some other shapes that you can do. Turn it, give it a little dimple here, a touch of water, and fold it around. So I have more of a crown shape wonton, very common for floating in wonton soup. So we have the triangle shape. Let me show you one that just has a little bit more finesse to it and that we pleat the edges. Same filling. That goes on top. We'll moisten 2 sides. Fold it over. Now, same thing, start off just folding it, but then what I like to do is take this and fold and push, going one direction. Then the other side, we're going to go here, fold and push, fold and push. That's the simplest way, so you have these pleats in it. The dumpling wrapper is a little bit thicker than the wonton wrapper, so it's got a little bit more stability if you're going to be boiling them, and I've even tried grilling them. You boil them first, cool them down, toss them with a bit of oil, and then grill them. It's great. Now, it is square, so this time, instead of having the point at the top, we're going to have it straight, and then I'll take the filling, put it on there, and this time, I'm going to do the top half like this, fold it over, so it's a rectangle, right? Then same concept as putting it on its side. I'll moisten one edge and pull it around like that. So it's just got a little bit different shape. It's nice to have on a menu when you have a different filling to have different shapes for each one so people can differentiate them, even if you're doing a sampler platter. Even thicker than dumpling wrapper, which is thicker than the wonton, is the Potsticker. Now, the reason for that is traditionally, based on its name, Potsticker, you brown the dumplings in a pan. I find like a cast iron pan works really well. You'll brown them in some oil. Then, after the bottoms are brown, you add some stock or some water, you cover them, and then they steam. So you have this dual cooking. Now you keep cooking that until the moisture evaporates, then you pull off the top, then the oil that was in there from the beginning starts crisping the bottom. So you have the soft, supple top that's a little bit chewy, and the bottom crunchy. To fold that, though, because we're going to brown them, there's a different shape. And let me show you the traditional way it's done. I'm going to use the same pork filling. That goes on there. Then I'm going to use the egg wash to seal it around the top half. Now what's different here is I'm going to start on one side and seal that. Then I'm going to only one side, fold it over and seal it. Fold it over and seal it. So we have these pleats. Then you want to bend it back and it gets flattened so it holds in place. Now the shumai are the thinnest. Cornstarch, once again, is very common. It's necessary so they don't stick. I'll take my filling, a little bit heavier on the filling this time than the past couple, so 1.25 ounces or so. Then what I'm going to do is pretty simple. We're going to gather this up in a deliberately random feature. Then I'm going to take this hand and come around it. And what I need to do is I have a little bit of water that I'm going to use my thumb. As I squeeze this, I'm going to push down. I like to fold the edges back so they're not coming off the top and drying out. So like this. Then I'll take a couple of the carrots. 3 is a nice number. Then I've got my bamboo steamer, or I can use a stainless steel steamer. Either is fine. Bamboo does contribute some flavor. I do oil the bottom of either of them, or line them with like a cabbage leaf or a lettuce leaf or something so it doesn't stick. What's important is that there's space between each one of them so the steam can come up and cook them evenly. A really fierce steaming is important. So rapidly boiling water, we steam those till they're cooked. They'll take 5 to 8 minutes, and we've got dim sum.